You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, and it's Tech Thursday, and that means we get to talk to Marsha Collier, who had left the country, so I'm told. And I'm surprised she did come back, but I'm glad she came back. Marsha Collier, it's good to see you. Where'd you go?
I went to England to visit my family, and I say England because I spent a couple days in London because my daughter was with me. You kind of have to do that. It was my uncle's 98th birthday.
Oh, what a blessing.
And he was all dressed up in a gorgeous suit and tie and cufflinks. We went out to a restaurant for dinner. It was spectacular, and he mentally challenged me, and I've just decided that if, God forbid, anything happens to me bad in the head as I get older, I want to be in a home over there.
That's going to be your retirement community.
That's it. I figured it out, yes.
Well, we missed you, but glad to have you back. As an Android owner, a Pixel phone owner, I know that I can pretty much depend on a new operating system just about each October. It used to coincide when they would release the latest version of the Pixel phone, but they moved up the Pixel phone date. Well, they debuted it, but you couldn't get it for like another 45 days. But Android 15 is out. I don't even know what the name for it is. I don't know if they still named them anymore.
I'm sorry, I don't remember, but in my new book, Android Smartphones for Seniors for Dummies,
I like how you
which
got that
comes out December 5th, available for pre-order on Amazon, it's in there.
All right.
I never remember what I write in a book because when you see my books, there's so much information that I have to flip back to reference the stuff. So, that's why there's a great index so you can find things because it's filled with stuff.
I downloaded Android 15. What is today? Thursday. I did it on Tuesday.
Me too.
And I didn't have a chance to really play with it yet, but I know some of the highlights and some of the new features. Have you had much chance to work with it?
Well, I obviously, when I wrote the book, I had a bunch of phones, and one of them was a Pixel Pro 7, which I was on the beta testing for Android 15.
Explain that for folks who may not know what beta testing is.
That means they need some people to try out operating systems to see where the failures are, to see where the good things are, to find out, oops, you do that, you lock up your phone. Oh, so it's not something you definitely want to try on your daily driver. And you need to have a little bit of technical knowledge to get out of some messes that you do get in. But I had it on this phone and I was watching it happen, and it's a new operating system. It's got new features. It's not going to change your life. Just like, I hate to break it to you, iPhone folks, the new iPhone, not going to change your life.
So these were maybe incremental upgrades, not a revolutionary or material upgrade?
Well, the beta test came in different downloads. Like they download one thing, and then if something was broken with that, they'd fix it in the next download and a next download. So it went several downloads. And things are incremental. For example, it's not out right now, but there will be something in Android 15 which will allow you to set your phone so that you can plug it in all night and will stop charging at 80%.
Stop or slow down?
Stop.
What would be the advantage of that? Because I like to keep my phone charged.
Well, but when you have a battery, a lithium ion battery in a phone, and you charge it to 100, or you let it go down below 20, there's damage to the battery.
Yes.
So to extend the life of a battery, you don't have to turn it on. If you want to charge to 100, you can, but you will have the option to stop it at 80 and then have it, let's say at 5 a.m. in the morning, finish charging.
Oh, okay. It will finish charging. And I do know that. And I know that when I get a new phone, that battery has about a year and a half, 2 years before it starts to degrade. That I notice it at least.
And you'll find when you start stopping at 80%, because other brands of phones already do this, that was in their own software overlay, that they will last a lot longer. And the batteries they don't deteriorate because these are expensive little devices. We need them. We use them. We get upgrades. And I mean, what? Now there's a 6-7 year upgrade period with each Android phone.
And how likely are you to keep that same phone for 6 or 7 years?
I should
say actively using.
Actively using. I still have a couple old ones that
I keep my old ones, but I may use them as a spare camera for security purposes.
Okay, I've got a spare camera phone.
Mm-hmm.
I have got a home entertainment phone.
Gotcha.
That has all those apps on it because I don't want to take up space in what I'm carrying around because I am not going to stop anywhere and watch Big Bang Theory. And I have another one, smart home, has all my smart home stuff. The smart home one also has all my financial stuff on it. Those apps I will not put on a phone that I'm carrying around. It's just not safe.
Speaking of not safe, very quickly before we go to break, let's talk about this new feature called theft protection on Android 15. If I have it right, the phone will sense if someone has stolen your phone and yanked it out of your hand and starts running down the street.
Yeah, supposedly.
Supposedly, right. Not that I want to try it to find out.
Oh, well, we were trying it downstairs, and obviously we don't run fast enough.
You didn't trigger it?
No. Or the Wi-Fi wasn't working. We didn't have a signal. There's all that. Technically, what's supposed to happen, and also they're still sending down incremental downloads of Android 15, so you may get part of it and may not get all of it. But that's basically what Mo said. You're on your phone, not
paying attention.
Right. Someone yanks it out of your hand, starts running with it. Then it uses the gyroscope. It uses your location. It uses all these methods, AI, no doubt, to lock the phone.
It's almost like crash detection for your phone.
Right. And crash detection is another one of the new features. Now, I'm not going to go crash my car to test it, but...
But if you should, your phone will let you know that you've crashed your car and call emergency services.
Well, I can tell you that OnStar did that. So I can...
But this is less expensive than OnStar per month.
Right. But what I'm saying is I know it can be done because...
Touché.
Yeah, so OnStar did it. Now, if you want to go where you need to go to find all these really cool Google things, on a Pixel phone, you go to settings. You know how to do that, right? You press the little cog thing. Google is an actual category now, and it will be in a lot of Android phones. Then all services. Then you'll see theft protection, theft detection lock.
Oh.
And you can lock it. Mm-hmm. Now, once you turn it on, you have to thumbprint or something to get out of it. Thumbprint or use and that's it. If somebody forcefully takes your phone from your hand and runs away. Now, not only do they have that, but they have a lot of other things. They have...
we got unknown tracker alerts. I'm just noticing that.
Oh, my God. That unknown tracker alert. My husband had a tracker with me. And it kept beeping and beeping. And my phone keeps going, there's a tracker following you. There's a tracker following you. And in my book, you're going to be able to learn how to identify whose tracker it is.
Oh, I can't wait. I need an advanced copy.
You can have one as soon as I get them.
All right. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're talking tech with Marsha Collier, who's back from England on this Tech Thursday. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on this Tech Thursday and on the iHeartRadio app. Marsha Collier joins us in studio. She's back from across the pond. Marsha, tell me something about these passkeys. I'm hearing that terminology all the time.
Passkeys are, I'm going to agree with all of you because I'm not going to fake knowing something and just gaslight all of you. Passkeys come in so many different flavors and so many different ways. There's one website that may want you to download some keys for you to keep somewhere safely. I think that's Facebook.
Is that like a version of a password, but not necessarily a word?
But it's a key. Now, at first, I thought that had to do with like a YubiKey. With a YubiKey is a thing that you plug into your USB port, and that is the lock for all your websites. The only problem is I never used it because I knew for sure I was going to lose it. Just period. I knew it. I didn't know how many I would need, but I would definitely lose it. So a lot of times, like with Chrome, you can do the thumbprint to get in and out. And also on your phone, when you put one of these settings that we were just talking about, like theft protection, once you've turned it on, in order to turn it off, you have to put your fingerprint down to prove that it's you turning off the theft protection. So passkeys right now are confusing. They're run by so many different companies. And I don't like that because, that goes back to the days where you come to a new website and it says, sign in with Google, sign in with Instagram, and realize that every time you're signing in with one of those websites, they have the right to all the information that you've got on those websites. So,
that's a scary thought.
So I just stopped. Dude, I think I did it once until I realized. But what to me is even more scary is AI that's coming out, Mo, and we're going to have it for the holidays. It's going to scare the heck out of you. There's a new smart glasses that looks at you inward while you're looking out from them.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again.
Okay. They look, here, quote, they are ones that peer inward at you rather than outward. So you can see out the glasses.
Right.
But the glasses are watching you. They're called Sense, and they have a bunch of sensors in them that monitor your facial movements in real time to get your emotional state.
What do I get for that? What can it do for me once it figures out I'm angry or I'm sad?
Well, and it can also pick up subtle movements that occur when people make expressions like smiling, frowning, something like that.
Uh-huh.
It can watch what you're eating to see if you're sticking to your diet and let you know how many calories. Now, again, they're called...
It sounds like another spouse. Monitoring whatever I do. Who am I smiling at? Who am I talking to? What did you eat for lunch?
I don't look at my husband that
Thank you very much. 2 shows nightly.
Tip the waiters when you leave. Anyway, so these are coming out, and the CEO of the company was the guy who was in charge of Snap, the spectacles, Snapchat. That was his project. So the old goal for these glasses is mental health and dietary management. Now, where the data goes, we don't really hear about that. But tracking your food consumption, I'm thinking that that's not a good thing if they sell it to your insurance company. The only reason they would track that data is if they could use that data or sell that data. Well, also, it has a single outward-facing camera that can be used to snap pictures of the food you're eating.
I guess that's okay. That's useful in this world where we have to post our meals.
Or if you eat too quickly, based on the detection of chews per second.
Oh, damn. Just let me enjoy my meal.
This is coming. I think it's in November, which is coming
couple
too
weeks.
Soon. Yeah, coming too soon. But it's called Sense glasses by a company called MTech. And when I go to CES, I guarantee you I will look at it. I can promise you I won't be bringing one home for us to play with.
For me, all these new technological advances, for me, the value is in the utility. How can I use it in my life? Not is it, wow, can it do wonderful things, but what can it do for me? Does it have any real usefulness in my life? Wasn't
it Marshall McLuhan who named Udels?
I don't know.
Okay, Udels are a unit of measurement. You pay blank amount for this. How much utility you get out of that? You break those into units, and you can figure out a cost basis. If it's worth it to you to pay it, do you get all the utility you need out of something? Mm-hmm. And that's an old theory. It's been around for a while, and I think more and more we're going to have to think about it. Because real fast, I got to tell you about this. Got to have this. Comes out November 7th from Casio.
I used to love Casio, from their keyboards to their watches.
I got something even better for
Casio's
you.
back?
Casio's back, and look what they're making.
They look like gerbils.
Tribbles.
Okay, Star Trek tribbles. Close enough.
They do. Actually, they look like guinea pigs. And it's a new hypoallergenic robot pet. They've been demonstrating them in Japan, and the slogan is always by your side.
Okay, let's go back to the utility discussion. What do they do, or do they sense your emotions and know when you're sad and come saddle up next to you or something?
Yeah.
I was trying to be funny.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. It's really strange. It doesn't really walk, and instead wiggles in place depending on the interaction you're having with it. When you open the box, it's just a baby, and it learns from you.
This is really weird.
I know. They're selling them for roughly $400 a device in Japan.
Let me guess. And it tracks all this data and they sells it.
Well, I don't know yet, but I think you can build a deeper bond with an owner through voice and gesture-based recognition software. Trust is apparently earned with the toy, and it takes a few months for it to fully develop into a strange bunch of affection and emotion. It will also feel negative emotions if you treat it negatively, which is kind of ominous. That's scary. It's awfully cute. Around day 50, owners can fully their Mouflin to be fully matured and offer unique cooing noises and wriggling movements from a range of 4 million different combinations.
Can't we just go back to Baby Alive? Do you remember Baby Alive?
The one that pooped and peed?
Yes. When life was much simpler.
Wasn't that simple?
My sister had a Baby Alive.
I didn't have one. I just wasn't.
You would feed it and it would crap like an hour later or something.
Really?
Yeah.
So cool.
It was for 1973. Yes, it was very cool.
In my day, it was a Chatty Cathy doll.
Chatty Cathy, yeah.
Which you could pull the string in the back. By the way, I have 2 of those going up for sale on eBay for
Those are
Christmas.
collector's items.
New in box, never been played with. But yeah, this is today's Chatty Cathy. Problem is, only has a 5-hour battery life, but you set it on its little thing, and it will sit in a bed-like cradle and recharge.
So you could charge it like overnight.
Oh, yes, you could. And they're palm-sized gerbils, and it's way more than a Furby. Furbies were scary, weren't they?
Yeah. I have a problem with mechanical furry things.
Okay, well, we have a mechanical dog.
From Japan,
we should
right?
Bring him in.
Is that
Ibo.
the one from Japan?
Yeah,
yes.
We have Ibo.
Mm-hmm.
We should bring Ibo in one week. We kind of turned Ibo off once they wanted to charge $300 a year for the Wi-Fi.
Oh no, that turns into like a veterinarian cost.
Well, then it doesn't learn. Mo, it's been swell. I think we're running out of time.
Yes. Look at the time. It's later with Mo Kelly. It's always good to see you, Marsha Collier.
See you next week.
Absolutely. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And Facebook is still a thing. When you talk about Meta, that's inclusive of WhatsApp and Instagram. But Facebook, the flagship of Meta, is still really important in a variety of ways in our social media lives. But if you think about what goes on behind the scenes, what it's like to work at Meta, I'm not so sure that I would ever want to work for Mark Zuckerberg or Facebook. There's a policy which is good on the surface, that employees are given a $25 Grubhub credit if they work past 6 p.m. And in our business at least, just about everybody works past 6 p.m. if you had a normal 9 a.m. start. If you work in a location that does not have a cafeteria on site and you work past 6 p.m., you're given a $25 Grubhub credit. That's kind of cool. But here's the problem. Staffers evidently were ordering meals when they weren't even in the office. Yeah, that's an issue. We're giving their credits to other members of staff, or we're using the credits to buy groceries and other household essentials. I don't know. Stephanie, would you have a problem with that? If you were Mark Zuckerberg and you were making these $25 Grubhub credits available to staff to use, I'm saying, probably at their own discretion, if you're in the office past 6 o'clock and there's not a cafeteria on site at your location, here's $25 to get food, and you instead use it to get toothpaste, or you give it to your assistant or someone else. How do you come out on that?
A little bit odd. I don't know how to feel about it. It's pretty weird.
For me, I think that you are creating more problems for your company trying to regulate Grubhub credits than just letting employees be happy and use them. As it turns out, Mark Zuckerberg has fired some 20 to 30 employees because of not following that policy explicitly. Some high-ranking executives making more than $400,000 a year. I don't know if that's good business.
Yeah, I disagree, homeboy. I disagree.
Oh, rules are rules, huh?
It's not just rules are rules. If I have a company and I have allotted a certain amount of money for my employees to be able to order food so they can stay in the office and work with, hey, you're here, you're working late, I'm going to take care of dinner for you. And I'm going to leave you, if just say I leave you cash to take care of dinner.
Right.
Right. And you then say, nah, I'm going to take that cash and I'm going to put gas in my car, or I'm going to go to the movies or whatever. It's not for that. Because then what you're also saying is that you're misusing the money that I gave you to help you work harder and do what you're doing. Say for instance, the cafeteria that we have here, if iHeart made it.
Don't call that a cafeteria.
The little AM PM, the snack shack,
Right.
whatever you want to call it. If iHeart made it so that each of us on a daily basis could go in there and get one item, just, work productivity, morale and all that. But then I see you inviting someone up, a guest or anyone, saying, hey, you can have my, I'm like, no, it's not for a guest. It's not for your friend. It's not for you to take home board. No, it's for you to be able to work here and eat that food. Otherwise, don't touch it. Don't spend my money the way you want to.
Mark, it sounds like, or seems like you have a differing opinion.
I didn't say anything.
I'm looking at your facial expression.
Oh, okay. All right.
Your face said it all.
Well, here's a little whip around quiz. How much do you guys think Mark Zuckerman's net worth is?
Berg?
Oh, Zuckerberg. Yeah, sorry.
He's like 200 billion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So if a guy who's worth $200 billion wants to micromanage what I'm spending on my food, I would probably want to separate his head from the rest of his body.
Okay, you're closer to me than Tuala. And this is the way I look at it. From a brand perception standpoint, yes, rules are rules, but the negative press and the ill will that you engender for firing people if we take the story at face value, assuming that they were fired specifically for that and it wasn't connected to other behavior, I think that probably cost a company more money because you're getting rid of talent. It's not just you're getting rid of people. You're getting rid of talented people who have an institutional knowledge in whatever positions they have. And you're getting rid of that over $25 here, $25 there. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's a very small-minded view of a big picture issue.
Possibly, but if on Friday night when we party and you are putting up dough for food, right? And Mark, Foosh, whoever else is here, we're starving. And you say, you know what? I'm putting up the card. You all order some food and we're all going to be here and happy or whatnot. Right.
Right.
And instead of using that card to order some food, you find out I'm ordering movie downloads or whatever. And I'm doing everything but what I was supposed to do with that money. And now we're all still sitting here hungry, lackluster. Our performance isn't up. We're not happy or this, that, and the other. You would feel some kind of way if we misused the money that you gave us to do X, Y, and Z. You would not be cool with it.
All right. Let me take that analogy one step further using my own mentality. Does that mean then, if I had the power to and I don't, does that mean I fire the person who misused the card and then I'm without a producer or I'm without a technical director, I'm without a news anchor, and that creates more upheaval within the show than saying, hey guys, you can't do that because of X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, we just have to stop the practice. But it's not worth, I'll say, turning the show upside down and also making my life more difficult. I think this makes it more difficult for Meta to survive. I think it's a black eye for Meta publicly after a whole bunch of black eyes. I don't think being petty is going to give them the type of return that they want. Yes, rules are rules, but like, for example, in our kitchen, there are items you're supposed to pay for all the items.
Yep.
Including the coffee, and people take the coffee, they don't pay for it. And I know the company just said, okay, never mind, F it, we're not going to worry about it.
Wait, we're supposed to pay for the coffee?
No, not the coffee in the machine. People are taking the coffee out the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Drinks, yes.
Yeah. And they're taking that, and I know the company is aware of it because there are cameras in there. And I know they have a feeling about it, but they've made the conscious decision, either let's talk to the person or let's address it on some level. But it doesn't mean that we need to fire them because it's probably more trouble than it's worth.
You get one warning for stepping over that line.
Fair enough.
No. This is facts. You get one warning for stepping over that line. You get one, oh, I didn't know. You get one of those. And then you say, hey, man, what happened to such and such?
All right,
That's what happens.
I'm no Brett Baer here, but I think I can I can spot a minor flaw in your analogy with Mo, in that Mo is not worth $200 billion.
Okay, according to you, he lives in the Taj Mahal. So what are you talking about?
Well, yeah, that's for a different argument. That's a whole different set of rules that we use for busting on each other.
It applies.
I mean, in a different context, I will bust on Mo for living in a villa with servants and valets. But this is not that. Mo is within the normal range of human income in the situation that we're talking about here.
Yeah,
Zuckerberg is not.
You can't tell someone what to do with their money.
No,
you can't
can't.
tell someone how to care about their money.
We can't, but I think it's short-sighted in this type of a decision. I think it hurts the company more than let's say the $750 worth of Grubhub, which was misused.
Look, I promise you, to take it even further down the road that Mark is going, these 20, 30 people, I'm sure they're easily replaced. He did not fire top level executives whose Facebook or Meta's very future hinges on their whims. No,
yeah,
he's
sure.
like,
It's just people. They can make more of them.
You all get on out of here. You take your misuse and misspending of my funds and be out of here. If Mo Kelly during his
Michael Bloomberg
years,
trying to defend stop and frisk and broken windows policy.
If Mo Kelly during his years within the record industry was up there misusing T&E accounts, he'd be out of there. I don't care what he was doing.
Oh, wait a minute. Not only was I misusing it,
you were making it rain.
If he was caught.
Well, it was kind of understood, hey, you're not supposed to take the CDs and sell them back to warehouse music.
I didn't want you to tell on yourself. I wasn't asking for that.
I made a lot of money taking the promo CDs with the little cutout to even show they know that it was promo CDs, and I sold them to warehouse. It made a lot of change.
Yeah, listen
Shame
to Walla.
on you.
When Mo has so much money that he can afford a massive survival compound in New Zealand, then I'll listen to your analogy. This is not that.
I think, yes, I think rules are rules, but there should be some discretion because the company is more important than I think following every single rule. Look, there's letter of the law and spirit of the law, and no spirit of the law is going to endanger the company. Look, if you want to fire someone for stealing 5 cents, yeah, that's letter of the law. But the spirit of the law is it's not worth that. I think it's injurious to the company big picture.
Maybe, but you also have to set an example. You cannot have habitual line steppers setting a bad example, essentially stealing from the company because you are misusing the funds. The funds are for this and you are using them for that. You're using them off site, using them for whatever leisurely activity you want to. That's not what it's for. If you take petty change, you go and use the petty change personal. To get what you want. No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Personal.
No, I'm just saying.
He said this to his son or something.
No, I just do not think that if you're running a company, you're running a company. If you're running, a business with you and your friends just hanging out, do whatever you want. I don't care.
All right,
but this is a company.
This is all I want to know, Tawala. When did you become Howard Hughes, surrounded by bottles of your own urine, counting the paper clips that your Mormon aides were using? This is insane.
You know that is an apt reference. Too bad we got to go to break. But
look at the clock.
We're going to continue this on the other side because Tawala's wrong, and we need to make sure that he's beaten into the dirt.
Okay.
KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Don't forget, coming up on October 30th is the Later with Mo Kelly pre-Halloween soiree. We're getting our food lined up. We're getting our beverages lined up. We're getting our winners lined up. We'll have a new batch of winners who will be coming to the party as of tomorrow for Name That Movie Called Classic. It's all coming together nicely. Can't wait to meet all of you. But before the break, we were talking about Meta/Facebook, which has reportedly fired some 20 to 30 employees connected to the misuse of the $25 meal credits, which were reserved for staffers who are working past 6 p.m. in offices that don't have cafeterias on site. One of the employees said that they were working nights and weekends for Meta and had spent their $25 credit on items like toothpaste and tea from Rite Aid. That was outside the boundaries as expressed in the policies and procedures, code of conduct for Meta, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And we've been going around the room as far as, is this too heavy-handed or not? I said that, yes, it violates the letter of the law and probably the spirit of the law. But if I'm Meta, I'm super sensitive to all the bad news and all the bad reporting, which has been everywhere regarding Meta and Facebook, which does impact the stock price. Mark was of the opinion that Mark Zuckerberg, having some $200 million in the bank, he should not be worried about nickel and diming people to death. I don't necessarily subscribe to that because how much the owner has is really neither here nor there. I'm just thinking about the company. Tawala has gone off in the deep end saying fire them all and maybe, send them to jail.
He's got a little bit of an authoritarian streak that I never picked up on before now.
Look, I hate to get all Scrooge McDuck on you, but no. I don't count my dollars and cents. If I tell you that this fund is for you to do X, Y, and Z, then you do X, Y, and Z with it. I do not want to find out that you've been misappropriating funds that I have supplied. I have a bottom line, and from that bottom line, if I am trying to make work life better, not your home life, not your personal life. If I'm trying to make work life better, then that's what the funds are for. If I find out that you're misusing that, there's very little I will borrow from Trump, but I'm borrowing this. You're fired.
Wait. So you're saying that when we had T&E back in the music business and we were using it for radio programmers, taking them to strip clubs and taking them to the bunny ranch, that was inappropriate?
That was very inappropriate. That was highly inappropriate, good sir.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering.
Tawala, which Charles Dickens character would you say that you actually are?
Well, I'm definitely not Bob Cratchit.
No, you're not Tiny Tim either.
We're
No.
running out of choices here.
Look, I understand. Let the ghosts come and visit me. You know what they will say? Hey, Twala, you really took care of your employees, but you know what you also did? You took care of your bottom line and made sure your company stayed afloat, and you fired those freeloading users who were trying to bleed you dry.
Yeah,
you
because
got rid of them.
obviously Facebook is struggling to make ends meet, isn't
We don't know what Facebook is struggling to do. We don't know what they're doing.
I think we have an idea.
I don't follow their stock.
Well, from their public financial reports, they're doing pretty damn well.
Oh, well, then they can do without this 20, 30 freeloaders. Bye. They can do without. If they're doing that good, bye.
What about the institutional knowledge? Because from what I understand, these are varying levels of employment within the company, executives down to the assistant level. You've incurred more of a cost trying to replace them. I know that for a fact.
Possibly. And you know what's always waiting in the wings at a company like a Facebook, hell, even at iHeartRadio, someone else who wants to take your spot.
Oh, always.
Okay.
Always.
So trust and believe there's always someone who wants to take your spot who's waiting for you to mess up. Okay. You don't have time for half stepping and shenanigans. You don't.
No,
you know what? Find yourself out of here. Find yourself on the chow line and maybe using that Grubhub credit that you've been stealing from me.
Who let Tuwala Trump in the building?
Tuwala Trump? You mean Tuwala Hitler? Who else used that rules are rules line in the past?
I didn't go that far, Tuwala.
Damn.
I just said Tuwala Trump.
Jesus, man.
I didn't liken you to the worst person.
I'm just saying, like,
in world history.
And Mark is taking this kind of personal.
Well, look, I mean, at the point where you say, don't worry about people, they'll make more of them. I mean,
Look,
that's where the Hitler part comes in.
No, we're talking about jobs.
This
That's
is a
no further than
business.
that. Yeah.
This is
Not
a
killing anybody.
business.
Whoa, okay.
This is a strict business. If you are not worried about your bottom line, why are you in business? If you are not worried about keeping your company afloat, if you are not mining the dollars, all of the cents will roll right out of your company.
All right. Let me say this one point. We have a supply room back in the back. Okay. We can get pens and paper and that kind of thing. And I'm quite sure people take more than their fair share of stuff and take it home. Not because I've done it, but because I've done it.
What's the statute of limitations on office supplies?
Right, office supplies. So that, to follow your analogy, would be impacting the bottom line. If I'm taking extra reams of paper for my printer at home.
You got to go.
Yeah, really.
Old Tuwala Hitler says you got to go.
Okay. All right. Let me go. Let me just tell Robin right now that she's going to have to somehow replace me because tomorrow I'm not going to be here because I took some extra paper.
They don't grow Post-it notes on trees, Mo. You can't just take those.
Look, if Jack in the Box is not charging a quarter for those damn ranch dressings, the people at the cash register, they're just going to start giving them away. And me as the owner.
And they do.
No.
He's resorting to the ranch argument.
Me as the franchise owner who has to pay for that comes out of my bottom line. You don't get to give away free ranches. I said charge a quarter for those ranches. Damn it, charge a quarter for those ranches.
Well, if you're going to bring...
Unless I'm taking it out of your specials.
Money. If you're going to bring ranch into it, I'm out of arguments against it. Old Tuwala Hitler's serious about the ranch.
What's sad is he's absolutely serious. He's not joking.
Dead serious.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not sitting next to him right now. I'd be afraid.
I'm so serious.
He might pop
right
his
now.
trunk.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't mess around with this stuff.
Find out someone's stealing from me. You're gone in a heartbeat.
Is it stealing if you've already relinquished it, and instead of using it for Grubhub to get Funyuns, they got toothpaste? Really?
Yeah, you're using it off the company site. You're not using it for what it's there for.
Rules are rules.
Because that's right. Bring your own damn lunch. You don't need my money. And if you're not going to use my money for food, bring your own lunch.
This is why I side with Mark, because we know that doesn't work both ways, because you then have companies which take advantage of employees. They're working more than 40 hours a week. I told you about the person who's working weekends and nights in excess of whatever their salary base is. And then you're going to say you're fired for using your Grubhub ticket for toothpaste?
Look, we don't know if this person is working in excess of their hours. And you say like they're not getting paid, like they're off the clock. No one's coming in on the weekends off the clock.
Really? You must not have worked in radio.
They are. Look, if you're coming in off the clock on radio, you know what we're doing? We are trying to get what, Mo? Ahead. We are trying to show improve. We are trying to stake our claim in the game.
So you're giving extra to the company that they did not actually pay you for.
Hell, welcome to the industry. Welcome to life.
And
Grow up.
when it comes to
Grow
Grand
up.
Theft Ranch, that's where Tawala puts his foot down, isn't it?
Look at the time.
Yeah, look at it.
KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Stimulating talk for independent thought.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.